Hey everyone, how's it going? Azrin here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to another Learn Gujarati with me podcast episode and, of course, YouTube video. So today we're going to do another present tense practice video today. So this will be a way for you to learn new words, a way to practice some grammar, and yeah, let's dive right in. So the way we'll do this is I'm going to start to share some really short sentences. I'll type them as I say them. They'll all be in the present tense, and we'll talk about what they mean. Pretty easy. Okay. Let's go. Let's leave this size 14. Perfect. Maru naam Ezran છે. Maru naam Ezran છે. હું કેનેડામાં રહું છું. Okay, let's start with these here. So maru naam Ezran છે. Very, very straightforward sentence. My name is Azran. હું કેનેડામાં રહું છું. I live in Canada. We look over here, we can see that રહું છું. Let's actually maybe underline this or something. Here we go. So રહું છું, you'll notice that's conjugated in the present tense. If you haven't watched any of my videos on the channel talking about the present tense, please go watch those first. It's probably going to be like episode 10-ish, like it was earlier on in the series, something like that. So that's that. We're not going to talk about the theory of the present tense today. We're just going to practice it. So, maru naam Ezran છે. હું કેનેડામાં રહું છું. Couple more small points on pronunciation. So, and actually writing as well. So when we write in the Gujarati script, typically this would be one word. So if I write Canada-ma, ghar-ma, dukan-ma, right? Like if I write a word, for example, using Gujarati script, let's write, for example, ghar-ma. Here we go. Ghar-ma. We actually make it one word. It's not separated. I'm just going to separate it when we write in these English letters just to make it a little bit easier to read. But typically, we do not separate. One more last thing here I'll point out. Here we go. Karma, there we go. Oh, hang on. There we go. We're good. So last thing I'll point out is in Gujarati, we often, we don't pronounce the letter H. So in like rahu chu, it's spelled rahu, but it's more often than not pronounced ro. Hun Canada-ma rahu chu. Okay. All right, next one here. Mane coffee bo bhave che. Mane coffee bo bhave che. This is actually not true, but it's okay. Mane coffee bo bhave che. Hun roj savare coffee પીવું છું. So મને coffee બહુ ભાવે છે. So this is something that's really important. So in Gujarati, we've touched on this in the past. When we talk in the present tense, really in any tense, but we'll stick in the present for now. When we talk in the present tense, more often than not, we're going to use the word hun to mean I. But there are certain set phrases where hun transforms into mane. So here we have mane right here. Mane coffee bo bhave che. I like coffee a lot. I like the taste of coffee a lot. I think I have like 3 videos on this YouTube channel and the podcast talking strictly about the use of mane. So you're more than welcome to go and watch those. But just pointing it out here, mane coffee bo bhave che. Mane is the word we're going to use for I here. We're not going to use the word hun. Mane coffee bo bhave che. I really like coffee. Hun roj savare coffee. Hun roj savare coffee પીવું છું. I drink coffee every day in the morning. Roj is the word for every day. Savare is in the morning. If I say savar, by the way, get rid of this a. Savar by itself is morning. Savare, in the morning. Or technically, if we translate word per word, at the morning. So we can use a. I'll actually give lots of examples. For example, હું ઘરે coffee પીવું છું. Here's another example of using a. Ghar, without the a, means house. Ghare, at the house or at home. હું ઘરે coffee પીવું છું. I'll give one more I'll give one more example of a sentence like this. હું કામે કોફી પીવું છું. I drink coffee at work. So kam by itself, work. Kame at work. હું કામે કોફી પીવું છું. So I'll read this all to you. મારું નામ એઝરન છે. હું કેનેડામાં રહું છું. મને કોફી બહુ ભાવે છે. હું રોજ સવારે કોફી પીવું છું. હું ઘરે કોફી પીવું છું. હું કામે કોફી પીવું છું. In fact, we can even make this sound slightly more natural, actually. Let's actually change this a little bit. અને here we go. અને હું કામે પણ, I'm going to write a capital N. So હું રોજ સવારે કોફી પીવું છું. હું ઘરે કોફી પીવું છું. અને હું કામે પણ કોફી પીવું છું. So પણ is the word for also. Now you'll notice if you're looking at the screen share here, you'll notice that I put a capital N on पण. So because I'm typing with like an ABC alphabet, like an English alphabet, sometimes there are certain Gujarati letters that don't correspond very well to English, like we don't have them. So capital N is the ana sound. So I'll type the actual Gujarati letter so you can see it for those that know how to read the script. Here we go. The actual letter looks like this. Parna. For those of you that don't know how to pronounce it, I have a whole video talking about how to pronounce that letter. If you go back, again, one of the earlier episodes. I will say this though, fundamentally, I don't remember how I explained it when I made that video. It was over a year ago, but I can tell you right now, I found like a trick that has worked pretty much 100% of the time to teach this letter. Like I've been teaching one on like private classes. And I'd say for the past like 3 months or so, I've got a trick, and 100% of the time when I've taught this letter like this, it just works. So this ana sound, it's like ana, like it sounds kind of funny. We don't have it in English. All it is here, let's take a little tangent. Oops. Let's stop the screen share for a moment. Okay, all we do, really easy. Step 1, I want you to say letter N in English. So I want you to say like na 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 na. Really easy, not hard whatsoever. Na 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 na. Easy peasy, right? Na 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 na. Easy. Now, as you say na 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 na, I want you to pay close attention to what part of your tongue you're using. So you really like put on like your detail glasses, put on like your analytical scientific glasses. You're really going to pay close attention. What part of your tongue are you using when you say na 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 na? What you'll feel is at the tip of your tongue, this part right here, right there, is touching the roof of your mouth. Na 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 na. Specifically, if you get really precise, it's touching na 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 na, probably touching your alveolar ridge or alveolar ridge. I've never known how to pronounce that word. It's like this hard ridge at the roof of your mouth, sort of near the front. Okay, so na 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 na. Now, when we say that ana sound, the other one, it's the same. It's the same thing, except all we do is instead of using this part of our tongue, we use the bottom. We use this. We use the bottom of our tongue. So you actually, like, look at my tongue. I'm gonna like open my mouth as wide as I can. Look at my tongue here. When I go, look at this. I don't know if you can tell. It's actually it's like the tip of my tongue is actually folded backwards. Like I'm actually folding my tongue so I can use the bottom of my tongue down here, right, to make that sound. So when you go, like your tongue is like you're actually putting the bottom of your tongue against the roof of your mouth, and then you're flicking it forward. So that's like a crash course in that letter. When I've done it with private students, it's worked every time. So congratulations, we now have a trick, and you should be able to do that. Anyway, so હું ઘરે કોફી પીવું છું. Let's underline the conjugations here. So મને કોફી ભાવે છે. You'll notice here we go, ભાવે છે. With મને, we always have ભાવે છે as a conjugation. ભાવે છે, કરે છે. It's always that he and she conjugation. હું રોજ સવારે કોફી પીવું છું. We have another present tense right there in the I form. હું ઘરે કોફી, again, પીવું છું again, right? અને હું કામે પણ કોફી પીવું છું. Cool. Let's do a little bit more here. Let's introduce some more verbs. Let's do a new one. હું oops હું કામે હું કામે ખાઉં છું. હું કામે what should we make myself eat? What should we eat? Let's say હું કામે જાંબુ ખાઉં છું. Okay, so હું કામે ખાઉં છું. I eat at work. So હું ખાઉં છું. Right. હું કામે જાંબુ ખાઉં છું. Jambu is like a sweet. You've probably had it before. So Indian sweets are so sweet. Oh my goodness, they're really, really sweet. So હું કામે જાંબુ ખાઉં છું. Yeah, pretty straightforward here. Let's put a negative present tense in here because I'm not sure if you know this. I actually don't know if I made any videos on this. Possibly yes, possibly not. But negative conjugations in Gujarati are a little bit different than positives. So if I say like હું ખાઉં છું, like I eat, or I don't eat, it's different. Like it's actually a different conjugation rule. So let me show you how that works. હું કામે હું કામે જલેબી ખાતો નથી. હું કામે hamburger ખાતો નથી. હું કામે chicken ખાતો નથી. Let's do one more here. હું કામે ચા પીતો નથી. So maybe you'll see a pattern here. So if we look at these negative sentences, હું કામે જલેબી ખાતો નથી. I'll underline this ખાતો. ખાતો નથી. Even the નથી I'll underline as well. હું કામે oops, here we go. હું કામે જલેબી ખાતો નથી. હું કામે hamburger ખાતો નથી. Right? ખાતો નથી. હું કામે chicken ખાતો નથી. One more thing I'll point out. I'll even write it differently for you since we're not using the Gujarati script. Let's use capital T's here. ખાતો નથી. ખાતો નથી. હું કામે chicken ખાતો નથી. હું કામે ચા પીતો. Here we go. પીતો નથી. Okay. So here we are. We have હું કામે જલેબી ખાતો નથી. હું કામે hamburger ખાતો નથી. હું કામે chicken ખાતો નથી. હું કામે ચા પીતો નથી. So maybe you see a pattern already, right? When we talk in the present tense and we do negation, what we do is we always have these to નથી. ખાતો નથી, પીતો નથી. I'll give a bit of a strange sentence, but we'll write it anyway, very Duolingo style. Although there's no Duolingo for Gujarati, but still a very bizarre sentence. Actually, let's make it slightly more logical, actually. I had a funny sentence, but we'll make it slightly less funny. હું કામે દોડતો નથી. હું કામે દોડતો નથી. So I don't run at work. હું દોડતો નથી. હું કામે ચાલુ છું. Right? So I don't run at work. That'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Imagine like running down the halls in your office place. That'd be kind of strange. હું કામે ચાલુ છું. So I'm sorry, I walk at work. હું કામે ચાલુ છું. Right? So you'll notice all the negative sentences, to નથી, to નથી, to નથી, to નથી. By the way, if you are a woman, it's not going to be to નથી. It'll be ti નથી. So હું કામે ચાલતી નથી. હું કામે જલેબી ખાતી નથી. હું કામે hamburger ખાતી નથી. હું ચા પીતી નથી. હું કામે દોડતી નથી. હું દોડતી નથી. હું ખાતી નથી. હું ચાલતી નથી. હું લખતી નથી. I don't write. હું whatever, right? So feminine, we have ti. Masculine, we're going to have to. Pretty easy, right? So હું કામે ચાલુ છું. હું કામે દોડતો નથી. દોડતો નથી. Great. I think that's, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, we put these capital T's in like all these to natis, right? To nati. You'll notice there's capital T's in all of them, right? Kato nati, right? All I'm doing that is the reason I'm doing that is that Gujarati has, if you're not learning to read the script, it's worth knowing that Gujarati has one, two, Gujarati has four different T's, four different ones. And so anytime you see a capital T, kato, pito, etc., those are all between your tongue. So like when we have kat, watch my mouth very carefully. Kat, to, kat, ti, pito. Notice I'm biting my tongue each time. Pito, luck, to, right? We bite our tongue on all those T's. We literally, like, look at me, like, I'm literally biting my tongue, literally, right? There's ways to pronounce it without biting your tongue, but it's really easy to do it that way. So, say one nati as well. Look at this, nati. The only difference there, if you notice, if I share my screen again and the way I wrote it, when we have the word nati, for instance, you'll notice there's an H in here. So at the end, we're going to have more of an H sound when we say that word, nati, almost like you're spitting. Nati, nat, pat, 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 ha, right? Gujarati has a lot of these sounds with like an extra oomph to it, extra like ha added to it. There's a lot of letters that are like that in Gujarati. Okay, so we have this sentence, we have this little short, very short paragraph here. I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. I'll read it once. Well, actually, I don't need to read it. I'll give you some basic homework here. I want you to, step one, just on a piece of paper at your house, translate this from Gujarati to English. You can also put your name in here if you want. Maru naam Rob che, maru naam Raj che, maru naam Amit che, maru naam Kajal che, maru naam I don't know, whatever your name is, right? So write this out in English. And then once you've written, let me stop my screen share. Once you write that out in English, like translate it back into Gujarati. See if you can go back from English into Gujarati. Okay. For an extra challenge, if you do have a bit of a grammar base, like if you're not completely new to Gujarati grammar, another thing you can do is you take this paragraph and instead of saying maru naam Ezranche, switch the whole thing and make it about someone else. Make it about your brother. Make it about your sister. So now it'll become something like, I'll start it for you. The whole thing now changes. Enu naam Ezranche. E Canada ma rahe che. Already notice the other conjugations are different. Ro, rahu, rochu, now we have rahe che. Because again, different verb conjugation. Right? Mane coffee bo bhave che. Ene coffee bo bhave che. Right? You can do the same thing with they, right? Not even he or she, right? E loco nu naam blah 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 che. E loco, or if you're gonna really do like proper written Gujarati, it wouldn't be e loco, you'd have teo, right? You might have teo, right? Teo nu naam. Even here you could have teo as well. Right? That's also an option, which we've talked about in previous videos, right? So e loco nu naam, teo nu naam, right? E loco Canada ma, so on and so forth. Like you can really switch this up and play around with it. And that's different ways to practice with this. One more level to this. So this one video, you can do a lot with this one video here. Another way you can practice this, should you choose to do so, this is a lot more advanced, probably heading more into like, I don't know, upper beginner, intermediate, something like that. Take this text, put it into the past. It'll be a little strange sometimes, but right. So maru naam Ezran hatu. My name was Azran. Ho Canada ma reto hato. Right? Mane coffee bo, so on and so forth. Right? All right. Let's wrap that up there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Aujo. Bye.